Hi, everybody. Um,
Hello.
so I just wanted to, first of all, as a suggestion, and you may feel this is right or not, you were saying there about the emails and for those people that want to become a contributor, then they can sign up for an email. I was wondering whether it would be also an idea to allow those people that don't necessarily want to contribute, but to still be able to sign up to the email, because I think as the momentum goes and they can see more people joining in that, then possibly that would activate them to also become contributors, if you like. So rather not only having it for the contributors. Does that make sense?
Perfect. And it will happen. So we're very, very close to having a new website layout, which is much, much easier and feminine orientated. So it's prettier as well, for want of a better word. It's a lot easier to scroll through. And what we will have is buttons. So you can tick here, tick here, tick here. And what you've just said is perfect. Yes, we can have a subscribe to the email list, tick the box. Why not? And there's a contributors list, which is easier than filling out the forms. You won't need to fill out the form anymore for a contributor. You just tick a box. And this will then link them to their GPMS teams in their countries, maybe. And and again, inside the contributors, then there's the stepping into the representatives for the country, which would come into the hub. So yes, what you're saying is absolutely plausible and will happen.
Good. And then, so sorry, I've got a couple of points here, if you don't mind. So what I'm finding is even in the awake movement.
Community?
Community, yes, thank you. And people that are really believe in the power of manifestation and all of this, what I'm finding is that there's still, there's so many beautiful people, and I'm certainly speaking about in the UK, that are, trying to form these different communities. There's lots of little groups happening, but there isn't that unity together. And what I'm finding is that it's actually almost, there still is that holding on to like an ownership or a possession of that it's something that they are creating. They sort of can't see that they can still carry on doing what they're doing, but just bring the energy all in one. I'm battling to get that across to people, because they're all still trying to almost be the top of their movement, if you like. Or
The saviors. They're the saviors. We're doing this. We've seen it for a long time, and what we've realized to a certain degree up till now, especially experientially, is that the leaders aren't interested because they're the leaders. It's theirs, but the people are. So what we've worked, or certainly I have now, is to get to what we call rank and file, the people. And I sat with a governor in a city here, the first few days I was here, and sat with a governor and said to him, the system that you represent is at best malevolent, at worst evil. GPMS is the divine instrument, the deliverance, the rapture. You can give it to your people, or your people will find out and choose it themselves. That's where we are. So with the leaders, if they're full of fear, they're full of fear. I spoke with a bishop. He's full of fear. He was trying to do business deals with us whilst we were speaking to him about how much he could make on the slave labor from Laos. It's craziness. But he represents 9 million in his churches. So we'll speak to the 9 million, not him. Again, it's very, very interesting how this is working. But what we've seen is the leaders aren't interested. They are egoic. They still have that ownership. It's mine. I'm doing this. And that doesn't contribute. That doesn't go forward. But this unity does. So we're watching the egos fall. And it seems to be the way to do that is to take the followers and change the followers' minds. It could be seen to be more long-winded, but if you look at the quality versus quantity, each choosing it, they're not following somebody into it. They are choosing it on an individual basis, which gives the energy that you speak to. If somebody just preaches to somebody, you must choose GPMS, Are they really choosing it? Are they choosing their own freedom? So we're in this sort of quandary position right now, but I agree with you. There's a lot of this lack of unity, even though they speak to unity.
Sorry.
I'll just add a little bit for you, Jen, as well. Obviously, having dealing with the English and the Portuguese along the way in these communities and stuff like that. Talk to the money. Talk to the fact, because they're struggling to actually keep this community together financially, and they're coming off grid and everything else, and they're all struggling. Talk to the money with them, and talk to the and within that community there is always one soul. One soul. Just get to that one soul, because then the one soul will get to the rest.
I'd like to just add
their community.
What you just said is, well, I lost where I was going with it. There's no reason why ones cannot keep doing what they're doing inside the banner of GPMS, and this is what we try to part to them is, we're not training you. Don't have to stop what you're doing. Just open your sights to what is coming, and continue doing what you're doing, but unleash or enhance your viewpoint, unlimit your limitations, and consider GPMS is already here. Keep doing what you're doing, knowing it's coming. And of course, then we get faced with the doubts and the other fears and the other thing. But that's not, again, what Julie said a bit earlier. Seeds planted, fertilize the soil, plant the seed, walk away. And this is what we've been doing for the last 2+ years as it stands. As Dean said a bit earlier, the energy is changing out there. People are more open. So we're seeing that definitely. Much more people are open, not the leaders, but the people. They believe it can happen now.
Just give him the love, Jenny. Just give him the love in the moment. Sometimes that little bit of love that you give to that individual, all of a sudden they're in fight or flight mode. You've given them a little bit of love. Some guidance has come through for you to speak something, and the next minute they're smiling. The next minute they're feeling your energy. The next minute they're going, okay, I can feel Jenny's energy. This must be right.
Yeah, resonance.
So I'm all about energy and all about love. And in particular, when I'm speaking, what I'm finding really interesting is I do healing work, and I belong to a group that does quantum regression work, and so they're very much there in terms of accessing higher timelines and bringing down, but they're very focused on that individual manifestation, and even ones within the group have the vision. It's the exact same vision of what GPMS is, in terms of what they, by 2027, he has this vision of, creating this all abundant. And so I was trying to put across, yes, but this is already happening. This is already a mechanism for that. But I noticed that none of the people that I shared this link with are on this call today.